Okay. Welcome back to My Hero Academia Anime Review, episode number 28. This is the 6th episode, the anime. Let's go, Red Rat, and the 250th chapter of the manga. Excuse me. Ending. Despite how they know it's not the final chapter of the manga, despite its name, but there's a reason for that. I'll get to that soon. This episode finishes up chapter 131, adapting the rest of the chapter, along with pretty much 132, 133, and it covers the first 14 pages of chapter 144. They kind of rearrange stuff a bit, basically, when it comes to the scene of Overlord and Todoroki. It's interspliced what was going on with the heroes. Here, they actually made it, like, cohesive, not like happening the same. Like, usually one page is them, another one it's basically the heroes. This one's cohesive straight through. It's a scene that lasts for about 5 minutes. It's pretty accurate. Not much change in the manga here. Yeah, this episode doesn't have many changes per se. Visually, the anime looks like pretty accurate to how it's picked in the manga. There's a couple minor changes here and there. I mean, they included a flashback from chapter 144 in this episode. This episode pretty much kind of discovers exactly what some of the other heroes are up to besides Deku. You have Otaku and Froppy working with the dragon hero, who was working with one of the big three, the one who has the power of Surge. Yep, they take on some criminals, and this sequence lasts for about 2 minutes. Yeah, this whole thing in the manga basically was just a few pages. I don't mind this at all. It's pretty good. And of course, they do show off the fact their names or Gravity and Froppy. The font is exactly the same as was in the manga, and most of the same dialogue here. And then we cut to Fat Gum making his anime debut, and he's voiced by Kyle Herbert. Yes, a voice actor I met before he took on this role, and it was announced yesterday that he take on the role. I'm like, wow. They announced this the day the episode came out that Kyle Herbert, a Funimation regular, to voice Fat Gum, which I think is a brilliant stroke of genius on the part of Funimation to do. Why? Because he's been with Funimation for a long time, and him playing a veteran hero makes absolutely perfect sense, alongside with Ruby Riot, who's pretty much the start of the episode, and the guy in the man stuff. It is, what is his name here? Sun Eater. Yeah, Sun Eater. And they show off basically his ability in this episode, where there's this group of criminals just have, and of course, Fat Gum is basically first seen eating a bunch of dumplings from a tray, just pokes with a toothpick and there, puts it in his mouth, turns, yeah, basically so freaking huge. So they basically just walk and do some trolling. Yeah, the whole thing of him eating like this, it's part of his quirk. Yep. And basically, kind of in a way, he's kind of like a good guy version of the Blob. That's what I think of it, anyways. At least he's more covered up than the frickin' Blob. Yeah, he's a lot more covered. So, and then basically, while they're patrolling, they come across like some criminals just running through the street. Well, oh yeah, we stole from this one person. So, Fat Gum takes on three of them, no problem at all. And then we have Sunny Eater, who takes out one who basically can turn into like little basically slip away, and he shoots at like an octopus, a clam, and a wing because he ate some chicken. Yeah, apparently he manifests whatever he eats. That simply is. He takes the guy pretty quickly, and then then we have another guy who shoots a dart at him. They actually this was mentioned in the previous scene, where Todoroki basically is explaining to Overhaul that they want to join partnership, still use a name, and I want to know what this is. It doesn't really go in. It doesn't continue from there. It continues a little bit later, and then of course, Ruby Riot blocks it, and then he chases the guy. Back up, like, don't worry about chasing him. It's like, because we might get hurt. So he chases on an alley. He's able to take it on pretty easily, and then the guy, you actually see him actually put the thing in his freaking neck. Now, like in the manga, you see his face and the thing going to his neck. Here, it's a close up, which that change was fine. I don't mind that minor visual change because It's perfectly fine. You see him take it out of his pockets. All of a sudden, you see the manga like, oh, he has this mysterious thing in his hand. Where in the anime, they kind of partially added in here, have him take out of his pocket. That's thanks to Studio Bones animation for you. And then he shoots a bunch of blades out of his freaking body. And basically, Ruby Riot does his best, basically, to protect 4 people. Yeah, from this guy's blades. And eventually goes to his unbreakable mode, which apparently he only can sustain, according to him mentioning, he only can sustain this mode for about 30-40 seconds. And he's able to punch through this guy's like 1,000 blades. Punch right through them, and of course he knocks him out. And after saving these people, he of course tried to get away. And then he's stopped by frickin' Fat Gum, who just pops up out of nowhere. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm getting away. And then he runs into a big blob wall, basically Fat Gum. And of course, he tries to stab Fat Gum, doesn't go any place at all. I bet you see the guy look like he's like inside of his frickin' stomach. It's so hilarious. And he does praise Ruby Riot for taking this guy down, doing a job for it, and in fact gets a lot of praise. Now, there is addition to they do here. There's a lot more praising, and they even ask his name, which they don't do in the manga. Like, what's your superhero name? He says, Ruby Riot, and the next day, basically, he's in the news. It's like a first news article. Yep. And of course, they do a bit of research. Like, apparently the drug, they couldn't find the gun per se, but the drug is actually made from a possible. It's a basically it's a quirk booster. Yeah, that's what Riot explains to him. And he apparently, Fat Gum has had experience with this because he used to basically help the cops take on drug smugglers. So yeah, we have a drug ring. Yep. And, oh yeah, and also they also added a little bit in here with the Frappe Otaku Surge and the Dragon Hero scene where he mentions about the team up thing, which they don't mention in the manga. So oh yeah, we're here for a case. Like okay. And of course, well, Fat Gum mentions it later. The fact that Sir Night basically, and of course, well, Otaku mentioned that is where Deku is. Yep, get a chance to see Deku again. Yep. And well, pretty much like right after that, then we cut to the next where we see Bakugo pretty much being infuriated at all the success. First, is Ruby Riot gets a bunch of praise for his actions the day before, and we all get a chance to see that apparently Otaku and Frappe got a chance to the paper too. There's other rookie heroes, they're super cute. Of course, any guy probably thinks these 2 living ladies are hot. Of course, I do too, but they're teenagers, but they're very beautiful girls, anyways. And then we have sort of a, and it's moving. The episode kind of ends right there in the classroom with Ingenia basically said we had to get back to studies. Like, yep, and that's the episode. Next episode, we're starting the team up, basically leading toward the end of this particular arc. Yeah, the next portion of this particular arc takes up pretty much just the second half of the story. It's the raid portion of this particular arc. Yep, and this starts with chapter 37. Though this episode stopped 134. Yep, but I'm sure they're probably going to lead up into that. Probably can have the next episode set up that portion of the arc. Yep, and this is only about not many episodes either. I think it's only like just the 4th episode, I believe it is. It's only the 5th episode of the season. This is actually only the 4th episode of this arc. And with this particular episode, because the fact this arc goes up to 161, that's when the arc officially stops per se. So since they got to 133 full, even though they got through halfway through chapter 134, this means that there's exactly, I think it's like 28 chapters left. Yeah, 28 chapters to go, and I'm hoping to continue this good streak of producing fantastic episodes. And I love all the additions they make to it, okay? Alright, so moving on to the newest chapter of the manga, Ending. Picking up where last chapter, we see this new villain named Ending. Yeah, he shows up in this chapter since his debut. And they mentioned about 7 years prior that he has a past with, he has history with Endeavor. You see Natsu, that's one of Shudo's brother's names. What his name of his brother, though there's was suspicion that Dad might be one of his brothers. Your brother. But then much I tell you. Of course, the little boy kind of looks like Dabi if he wasn't let's just say, if he wasn't, let's say, well, the Stitches. And of course, they talk a lot about Endeavor, how he's not going over it. And they hop in Endeavor's very fancy car. Thanks. And you have Shudo's sister basically saying, Midoriya, thank you for being friends with Shudo. Of course, pledge is all mine. Of course, Bakugo's like, whatever. Shudo's basically scratched his cheek. And then we have Endeavor's like, okay, you need 3 power quickly. Next time in the weekend, if you're able to shift your schedules, I'd like you to work 2 work days as well. That's how it worked for Otaku and Kurashima last time, right? Not to study hard for finals, Hiroki. Will you teach me English? You're number 1 and you number 1, aren't you? Get a bigger car, and of course the chauffeur's like, get your own chauffeur and stop complaining. You got your own chauffeur and you're still complaining? You ungrateful high schooler. Oh, that's so funny. Endeavor, since when did you start picking up a bunch of high school dropouts? The drivers are, ever since they went and put me in the top spot. I guess people do change, huh? And then you see Ending making a full appearance. It apparently looks like he's got Natsu. It's not the same guy from Fairy Tail, different character. That's a nice house you got for yourself. Endeavor. Natsu. Hey, drop out. Get your head back inside. And basically, Endeavor basically launches right out and says, let him go. Remember me, Endeavor. You're from 7 years ago. You're the one who you're arrested for assault. Don't remember back then. Yes, correct. Amazing. So I remember me. Ending. I'm sorry, I understand. And they start the big fight. It says, I'm gonna kill this guy. Please, Endeavor. Don't make the same mistake twice. This time, make sure you kill me. Okay. So, like with All Might, Endeavor's got here for the past basically showing up. I mean, first All Might, now frickin' Endeavor. I mean, who's next? But yeah, but this ending is really good. I love this chapter. It's really good. Kind of wraps with the whole thing with the whole Todoroki household thing, and I like the fact that Shudo, sister, and Deku basically are on nice terms with each other, which is quite nice. I mean, I don't think Todoroki's family has got a problem with Deku. They may have a slight problem with Bakugo because of his attitude, but Deku is basically a very friendly person. This chapter I give a 9 out of 10. Really good chapter, okay? So yeah. Oh, in case you wonder what Fat Gum looks like, that's him in this cover. That's what Fat Gum looks like. That's Sun Eater, and of course Ruby Riot in his basically partially in his Unbreakable mode. So yeah, that's it for this particular review. My next review is going to be a movie review on the 3rd film of the MCU of the second phase, third phase of MCU, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. You get my thoughts on that soon, okay? See you next video. Bye.